Hello, I need your help. I would like to improve my English. And I've realized recently that I'm not really improving my English. I'm not really speaking to native speakers, at least not enough. And I don't know, even when I speak to some native speakers, I feel like I'm not really improving my ability to express myself. I mean, I know that my English is pretty good. I'm not saying that I'm a beginner. I'm not saying that I'm intermediate. I think my level is quite advanced. But still, it's been many years. It's been actually now, when I think about it, it's been 2 decades, I think, that I've been learning English, trying to improve my English as much as possible. And I feel like there are still things that I can't really express in a precise way, or at least there are a lot of expressions that I will use which would not really be used by native speakers of English, if you know what I mean. Like, probably not the right word, and you can understand what I'm saying, you can understand the message, but it could be phrased in a more natural way. So I realized I have a lot of subscribers on French Comprehensible Input, and so why not use this opportunity to ask you for some help and to ask for some feedback. Of course, I'm not expecting you guys, I mean, all of the people watching French Comprehensible Input to give me feedback on my English. Absolutely not. And I'm not asking you to watch each and every video of this playlist. But if you have a couple of minutes to spare from time to time, and if you want to help me, you can just maybe have a look at the videos from this very playlist that I'm creating right now. And maybe you could give me a bit of feedback on pretty much anything related to my English. I'm really interested in, well, basically, typically the lack, or when I'm lacking the right word, or when I'm missing the right word. This is typically a doubt that I would have. To me, when I'm missing the right word is something that sounds 100% correct. Let me know if it's actually wrong. But I'm lacking the right word. Can I say I'm lacking the right word? It sounds a bit strange to me. Anyway, typically that kind of doubts, if you can leave me a comment letting me know, and if you can include a timestamp. So for example, I don't know, this is going to be something like 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So you could put 0 to semicolon 50, but typically I could phrase that in a more English, in a more native way. So you could typically tell me how I could spell. Can I spell a timestamp? You see, plenty of things that I have to learn to express in a more natural way. I'm also really interested in pronunciation. I definitely speak more a British English than an American English, but my accent is pretty much, I guess, random a bit. Sometimes some of my sentences are going to be a bit closer to RP. Some of my other sentences will be, I don't know. I have absolutely no idea, actually. You can tell me how it sounds. If sometimes I'm saying something which sounds like I have, I don't know, Manchester accent or some sort of weird accent, or maybe there is an interference. I know that, well, typically on the English, the language examination in English, I watched it again and I realized that back then I still had a couple of American R's, like very rhotic ones, the r. And this is something that I try to work on as well, because I'm really interested in trying to copy the accent of British people in general, but it doesn't make any sense to say British people in general. So I would say maybe I'm trying to aiming for a UK RP accent, I reckon. So yeah, any feedback on that could be very, very useful. Also grammar. I still make some mistakes. And yeah, pronunciation. Interesting fact. Recently somebody pointed noted or let me know that I was pronouncing only and don't in a sort of slightly off way, or slightly well, not really native like. And I used to say don't, or only, which is a bit nasal if you think about it. I think it's the interference from French, so only, don't. And so I realized that. I thought it was really interesting because, again, I would like to be as native-like as possible. I would like to sound as native-like as possible. That's a sort of an objective for me, a goal. And so I started practicing only, don't. And this is a question that I have also. I think it can be interesting to know about you guys. How do you pronounce it? Because I feel like so far what I've noticed is I think English speakers or UK speakers in general tend to say don't, or only. It tends to be. Most of the time when I hear it, I hear a diphthong. So don't, only. But it feels to me like for American speakers, this diphthong in don't and only is a bit less noticeable. And I wanted to know what you think, because I've been trying to observe that, to really understand the difference between what I used to say, how I used to pronounce don't and only, and how native speakers actually pronounce it. And I've noticed that it's not that clear to me when American speakers are pronouncing it, that I feel like they might be a bit closer to what I usually used to pronounce. So anyway, any feedback is welcome. That would be great. Of course, you don't need to watch the whole video, and you don't need to write me a sort of a minute. Is it the word? Is it the right word? To write the minute. To write the minute. So I'd like to take notes of everything that's being said. I'm not asking for that, but if you can just write one comment with the timestamp, that is extremely useful. And I think that it can motivate me to, well, basically go through the comments, and maybe I can try to just take notes and then comment on it in the next video. And then I can improvise speaking about something else. And, slowly but surely I can use some new vocab. I can use maybe your suggestions, and I can improve my English this way. And that would be great. So again, you don't need to watch all the videos, of course. But if you can do it from time to time, I would tremendously appreciate. So thanks. I'm also really sorry for not providing you guys with some other content, some other videos on this channel, because of course my initial goal was to share tips and techniques on how to learn, acquire a language. The thing is, I've really wanted to do it in a way that would be a bit more, sophisticated, a bit more sophisticated than the videos that I make on French comprehensible input. As you know, if you know French comprehensible input, there is no editing. Basically, I'm just sort of streaming and publishing a bit later. So I'm using Streamlab OBS, that's the program I'm using, and there is no editing. So it's very, very basic. And when it comes to the tips, I really wanted to make videos that would be slightly more engaging, that maybe would get recommended a bit more easily on YouTube, because let's face it, French comprehensible input is a channel that I think is working quite well. But I'm not going viral, if you know what I mean. I think you've noticed I'm not really surfing the trend of viral videos and so on. So it's working well. I think it's a good channel, and it's growing. But I would hope that if I make videos on tips on how to learn a language, I would hope to create videos that are a bit more engaging with music and editing. And this takes me a lot of time, and then I start working on a script, and I don't know, I I make some changes and then life happens and I don't finish it. So recently I've decided that it would be nice to make these videos in French, because it would also make it easier to write the script. And yeah, and I'm going to do my best to publish some videos soon, but I don't want to give you any dates because I've been failing many times. So yeah, I'll do my best, but I can't guarantee anything. Anyway, thanks for watching. Any feedback, pronunciation, intonation, grammar, vocab, chunks typically, like, oh, what you said here is clear and I understand the message, but typically a native speaker would use the expression blah, 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 or this chunk, chunk, like something to express the message in a clearer way and in a more natural one. Okay, in a more natural way. So thanks. I wish you guys a great day and see you in the next video, I guess. Cheers.